Hello, thank you for joining me. I'm going to talk about shipping breast milk, from shipping coolers to packing the breast milk, using dry ice, and taping and getting the shipping cooler ready to go. So here I have a couple of shipping coolers that I like to use. If you look on my link that discusses different types of shipping coolers, I do talk about these ones and other type of shipping coolers that you can use for shipping breast milk. Now these are actually kind of one of my favorite ones to use. I prefer not using styrofoam coolers for different reasons. One, styrofoam coolers have a tendency to crack or break during shipment. These ones are made of, I think it was polyurethane type material, and they're more like of a foam. So they're not really going to deal with the cracking or exploding under pressure or from dropping it and things like that that you would with styrofoam coolers. So I find them they're more secure and more safe. They also come, they're actually not a whole cooler when you receive them. They look like this when you receive them, but they're designed to be able to come out of the package and lay flat. So what we do when we receive these is we actually just go ahead and tape them on the edges. Like if you think of a cube, you gotta have this part and kind of this part. And so these kind of comes out into, like, in this particular one, since it's smaller, is 2 parts, and then the bigger one is 3 parts. And we just tape them together so they're more secure. But we also make sure, like when we tape the top, that we leave just a little bit of breathing room so that the dry ice, when it dissipates, it can breathe out and it doesn't cause expansion inside. But even if it did, this one would more likely just kind of escape through the seams. If anything, then it would risk cracking or, under the pressure that styrofoam would. So we just go ahead and put this back in after we're done taping it up. I have this ready to go ahead and get packed with the breast milk. I use this hefty Ziploc type bags to fill my breast milk in. So I put my breast milk in the freezer, I lay it flat to get it frozen. When I have enough breast milk bags, I place them into these Ziploc bags. I label the bag for the dates, and I zip it up, and squeeze out the air, and then I'll seal up the bags, making sure all the air is out so we can make sure we fit it in here nice and snug. When I put in the breast milk bags in here, I place them oldest date to newest date. And then when the buyer receives the breast milk, that way they have the newest date going to the back of the freezer and the oldest date will be on the front of the freezer. And I just kind of, with mine, I have 4-ounce bags I lay flat and I kind of fill them in here. I end up having 12 bags in here, and it makes it for easy counting. So I always know that there's 12 4-ounce bags in here, so it's 48 ounces in every bag. So when somebody says they want, let's say if they wanted 480 ounces, I know that I only need 10 bags. So it makes it easy for me just to unload it and pack it when it's time to ship, instead of trying to pack individual bags and count all these bags and make sure I have the exact amount or correct amount of bags in there. If for some reason, let's say they wanted 500 ounces, that would mean I need 20 more ounces, which is not a full bag. I would take out of one of these bags how many individual bags that I need left over. Then I would put those in another Ziploc bag, and I'd put those in here, and the remainder amount I would leave in a different Ziploc bag with the dates on that. And when I put these in here, I don't put them like this way and this way. I kind of turn it pinwheel style in here, and I feel like it fits better. Depending on your breast milk bags and the size they are and the thickness they are and how many you can fit in there, that may vary on how it fits better for you. So just kind of do it how it fits better for you. But the important thing to know, whether you're using a styrofoam cooler or one of these types of coolers, is that you want to make sure that they fit comfortably, that they're not pushing on the sides of the coolers. That kind of pressure can damage the cooler, and that damage could let warm air in, which puts your breast milk at risk of spoiling. So I'm going to go ahead and finish filling this up. Now we have room. We could put looks like 2 more bags in here if we wanted to, and then leave area for here for dry ice. But in this case, let's say this is how much breast milk the buyer needed. So I don't have any more that I want to place in here. So we have this room left over. At this point, you can use newspaper, or you can use this brown packing paper. The thing about brown packing paper is it's quite a bit thicker than newspaper is, and for that reason I have actually learned that it does really good insulating, which means when you put the dry ice on top, if you have this layered down pretty well, then the dry ice kind of stays insulated to the top and doesn't seep down towards the breast milk like you would want it to, and that means it's not cooling the breast milk. So you want to make sure that that dry ice is able to seep down and cool down below to the breast milk to keep that frozen. One way that I've done that is I just kind of line it up and then I just put some tears in the bag or paper, just enough so that the dry ice can seep down, but not enough that it can get to the breast milk and touch it directly, because you don't want you don't want the dry ice touching the breast milk directly, because that could cause the breast milk bags to break open and put the breast milk and make it exposed. So you don't want that to happen. So you definitely want the protection of the paper while still allowing the dry ice to breathe. So now that I have that done, I can take my dry ice and place it in here. And make sure you have gloves on when you're handling dry ice. Now some people will take the dry ice out of the bag and just kind of dump it in the bag. I prefer to leave it in, dump it in the cooler. I prefer to leave it in the bag so none of the dry ice gets shifted around and falls down and gets down and accidentally touches the breast milk. But I'll tear open the bag, and then I can fill the rest of the space here. Now, honestly, it doesn't make a difference whether you use newspaper or brown packing paper to fill this up. For me, where I live, the Sunday paper is kind of expensive. It's not like $1. And so buying Sunday papers all the time for these, it kind of just adds up quite a bit. And this is just a lot more affordable for me to purchase. So, and since I send a lot of packages of breast milk out, I just find this more affordable to do. For other people, you know, if you're only shipping so much breast milk out, or if newspapers there are really affordable, then you can go ahead and use newspapers as your packing material. It's really up to you. Now once you have this nice and secure, now you don't want to pack this too tight and cause pressure, because with too much pressure, then see how these sides can open too much, or with styrofoam they can crack and things like that. Now this actually will, when I close it, when it's open it kind of pushes, when I close it, it kind of closes better. And like I said, we tape the sides of it so it keeps it closed more. I have up here on the top not actually taped too much. Again, I like to leave so where some dry ice can escape out, and since warm air rises and cold air falls, I prefer to have the escape at the top for the warm air to come out. I don't want the cold air that goes down to come out of the cooler. And then once I have this secured, I don't really need the gloves anymore once I have it secured. I can go ahead and take my tape and get this taped up. Now, I highly recommend using the heavy duty shipping tape. Don't use just standard moving tape or standard packing tape. You want to make sure you have the heavy duty shipping tape, because you don't want this to get shipped and your box to fall apart, or you know, the edges to start coming apart, because it puts the breast milk at risk. It's just not worth it. You want to just put caution first, and you just pull these sides together And I just take like a piece of tape like this, and I put it down, I slide it down, and I get it nice and secure, and I pull it tight, push this tight, and I just tape it over. And I will do that with each side first, and then we're going to tape the sides and seal it up. So it gets it nice and tight, nice and sealed, and again, right here on the edges a little bit is room for the dry ice, the gas to breathe out, and it keeps the breast milk cold, it keeps the breast milk safe in there, and the box and the cooler from having any risk of pressure on it. Once I have all of these sides taped up, like I said, we'll do this 3 sides, and then this side doesn't need to get taped because that's already secured. So tape these sides like this to get it nice and tight. Take this tape and seal it over. Once that is done, we'll go ahead and close this box. Now, since this box came with the cooler, it's a perfect fit. So once you have this all ready to go, and, or excuse me, not ready to go, but all ready to be taped up, you'll just go ahead and then tape this up, which I'm not actually going to be shipping this breast milk. This is just for the video, so I don't really want to tape all of this up entirely. But for demonstration purposes, you would just tape this up all the way. I recommend that when you're shipping breast milk, that you don't just put one piece of tape here and call it good. What I always do is I tape like a piece of tape here, another piece of tape here, another piece of tape here. Then I take a piece of tape and I tape it around here like twice. So that way, if any of these pieces of tape start coming up here at the edge, it doesn't just continue to peel and then risk popping open. The tape that I taped around holds this tape down. This box is actually under a lot of weight, and it could get jostled around pretty good. So I also do the same thing to the bottom. When I take the boxes, I will tape around the bottom pretty good here too, kind of even right here. And I do this because I just don't want anything to happen to the package, especially when you get the really, like if you're shipping 900 ounces and you're using one of the bigger shipping coolers, especially the styrofoam coolers. I mean, I would even take the styrofoam cooler out and tape around the styrofoam cooler just to reinforce the styrofoam cooler more, so that the weight inside the cooler doesn't get jostled so much that it causes any damage to the cooler, like any ruptures, cracks, or whatever, which could put risk to the breast milk to get spoiled. So I'm just always like, just to be a little bit more cautious, just to make sure that that breast milk arrives safe and sound, just put that little extra loving into that packet, into the boxing and packaging, so and you can sleep good at night knowing that it's going to be arriving there safe to the best of your ability. So tape up your box really good and have it secured. And then the last thing you want to do is you take this, or while you're getting this packaged up, just take a marker, and then you want to write on the side of the cooler. And a lot of times these coolers will say perishable, rush delivery, perishable. I think this one has that. Yeah, see? It says it on the side. You want to say either human milk or breast milk. I think a lot of people prefer to write human milk on the side, so you can write human milk, and then you would put the amount of pounds of dry ice. This is so that the shipper knows that there is dry ice in here and how much dry ice. Whether you're shipping air shipping or ground shipping, you want to write that on there just so you don't get your packets caught in inspection. They may say, oh, let's red flag this or something questionable. There might be hazardous material in here. We're going to stop this package en route. We're going to check it, investigate it, and then now your package is being delayed and your breast milk is being put at risk of spoiling. But if you write it on the box and they know that it's in here, and you also tell the shipper, whether it's UPS or whomever you're shipping with, you tell them so they put it in you know, the information that they type up for that package, if it's all in there, then you're gonna feel a lot safer knowing that they're just gonna say, okay, we know what's going on, we know what's in there, let's go ahead and put it through. They also will know that you're complying to their terms. Anything that's going air shipping cannot go over 5.5 pounds of dry ice. I always just go 5 pounds just to be on the safe side. So no more than 5 pounds of dry ice. You want to write that 5 pounds dry ice. They know that you are sticking to the regulations of no more than 5 pounds. They won't stop your package in transit. If you're using ground shipping, there is no limitations. So you can use 5 pounds, you can use 10 pounds, you can use 15 pounds, however many pounds of dry ice you want to use. That is okay with ground shipping. Again, just write so, say so on your box about how much dry ice you are including in your package so that the communication is there and your package will be able to go right through and get to the buyer without any delays. And again, like I said, make sure you tell that to the shipper, whether they're taking the information. If you go to like a UPS store, they usually print out the label for you, but if you go to like a UPS hub, they usually have you type up the information yourself. Something to know, and I recently found out myself, is UPS, and I think USPS and even FedEx, they all are the same, they do not insure perishable goods. Sometimes they'll go ahead and let you pay for that insurance. They'll let you pay to insure it, let's say up to $500, $600, whatever amount of dollars, and they won't tell you that it's non-insurable. So you'll pay that fee and you're not actually receiving coverage. If it came down to something happened to the breast milk and it got spoiled en route, even if it was UPS's fault, they will not honor that insurance that you paid for because they do not cover perishable goods. So don't ever pay for that because you're not going to get anything out of it. Now they do guarantee shipping even for ground shipping, so if your package was due to arrive in 2 days, they guarantee that. I have encountered that some stores, UPS stores, will say they don't guarantee that, and they do. There is information on the website, on the UPS website, talks about the guarantees. I have the links on my website, and I think it's just a miscommunication. I even encountered that myself, and since it was like a new policy, they just weren't aware of it, and so I was able to talk with UPS customer service. The store was able to talk to UPS customer service, and they were able to figure out, the procedures to get that taken care of and get that refund to me, because one package did arrive a day late. Since I had the dry ice, since I had everything taped up and secure, since I did everything like I explained to you that I do, that breast milk arrived absolutely frozen, in perfect shape. Nothing happened to the breast milk, thankfully. It just arrived a day late. So I was able to get the refund and then give that refund once I received it back to the shipper. So they got their shipping payment back because I'm not the one who paid for the shipping. It was them who paid for the shipping. So the refund was actually for them to receive. I hope I have answered all your questions in regard to shipping breast milk. If you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and contact me and I'll be more than happy to look that information up for you and get back with you with an appropriate answer. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. Have a good day.